Anthony Hartwig here with the first McDonald softball player profile of the season. We're joined by their ace in the circle, Isabella O'Brien. Izzy, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for having me.
All right, so you have been a fixture in the area of pitchings for a long time now, and this is just
Yeah.
another year where you've been, putting your stamp on the world of softball in Northeast Ohio. Talk
hmm
about this year and coming into it, and already having your name established, and some of the goals that you set for yourself that you wanted to accomplish this year.
Definitely. So coming in last year, I was, new to McDonald, new to the program, kind of trying to find my feet. And, after last season, making it to districts, building a relationship with my coaches, I think coming into this year, I was a lot more confident in what I could do. And I felt like it was going to be a really great building year. And I'm definitely excited to see where not only myself, but this team can go. I definitely would say that my biggest goal this season for myself is, put my team in the best position to win. Um, I obviously do well in the circle. Um, I get a lot of strikeouts, win a lot of games, but I'm more focused on what my team can do and being the best teammate I can be. And, hopefully this year we make it to districts again and, come out on the winning side and can make it to regionals for the second time in McDonald's softball history. So,
You say finding your footing in last year, and you look at your numbers last year. I think a lot of
yeah.
people would love to find your footing with what you were able to do. Talk about what it was like to just be with a new team, and like you said, try to grow with your coaches, but also obviously find plenty of success last season.
Oh, definitely. First, I kind of, obviously I had the first half of the school year to, meet people, get comfortable, see who's on the team, build relationships. So I definitely did that, but I was definitely still a little bit nervous, meeting my coaches,
Mhm.
being on a team that had already been really successful in years past. They've made it to districts, won the MBAC I know they've won the MBAC the last 7 years as of last year. So that was, I don't want to say it was intimidating, but it was just a lot to kind of, it felt like a lot of responsibility. But once I built relationships with my coaches and, got through, the preseason, it, it really worked out. And I'm in a great place with my coaches. I love them. I love this team. And, you know, once I built relationships with people and I felt close with them, it was pretty easy from there on. So,
You came in the perfect spot for this program too, because the year before you came in, it was Bree McCombs, and
mm-hmm.
obviously she did a lot of great things for McDonald, and now here you are with more of a staff. I mean, not Bree McCombs. Bree McCombs is already with you guys,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
but oh geez, now the last name of the Bree before is
Brie
escaping me.
Callow.
There it is.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. In the clutch, just like in the circle. Brie Callow, doing great things
Mm-hmm.
for McDonald before you even stepped on the field there. And now it's a staff. You got Bree McCombs comes in the circle, does her thing on your
Mm-hmm.
off days. What's it like to have, a double, double barrel, threat on the circle, and knowing that you don't have to go out there every single night and have your A game every single day?
It definitely feels great to have, help. Last year we had 10 girls in the team. So when you have 10 girls, you can't really move people around and you can't really rotate pitchers as much. So it's really nice this year being able to, help each other. And, when we played our doubleheader against Poland and Liberty, it was, last year, I probably would have had to pitch both games, but this year we were able to get, 3 or 4 of our pitchers in, and that was really great. And, we came out, we went 2-0 on that day. And it's just great to have help and to know that, like, my team has my back, I have theirs, and it's not just one person doing all the work. So,
When you have a team like that, talk about what it does for your pressure. I mean, obviously, there's always the pressure to succeed when you're
mm-hmm.
out there in the circle, but when you know that you have other people and you have other pitchers, does that make it a little bit less stressful or a little less pressure filled, knowing that hey, if I don't have my stuff today, or if something's not working, there are people that can have my back in the circle if that needs to happen.
Oh, definitely. I mean, last year I think we had 10 girls, and in the middle of our season I had suffered a pretty bad concussion, and that had kind of put us at that point 9 players. And when you only have 9 players, it can be tough because one person gets hurt, you're kind of playing a little bit more timid, a little bit more scared, because you don't want to take as many chances. You don't want to take the chance of colliding with someone. So when I was out for a couple weeks, that kind of put us in a hard place. But this year, if someone gets hurt, we have someone else who can come in and pick it up until they get back. And I think that that's a really great thing, especially this year, because we do want to go far and we have so much potential that we're able to, you know, go for a long time and be able to collect wins as a team, not just with one person putting in all the work. So,
You brought up the historicness of this program and how successful they've been. Talk
mhm,
about this team, the mentality they have, and what they've been doing to try to keep that program exactly where it belongs up at the top.
mhm. So we had quite a few freshmen this year. So when you have a lot of freshmen coming up, for us, I think for some people, it might have been kind of like you have so many people coming up, positions are going to be a little bit more, you're going to have to compete more to keep your position. But we were really excited to have so many freshmen come up because that means that we got help and everybody was going to be in the position that they needed to be in to succeed. And I definitely think that having the help of the younger girls, it not only helps, you know, on the number side of things and helps us win games, but I think it helps kind of have that healthy competition between all of us because we all are having to compete for a spot on the field. So I think that's a really great thing too.
All right, we've talked to a lot of pitchers on these player profiles over the years and this season as well.
Hmm.
They all have a different mentality. They all have a different kind of attitude that they like to bring in the circle. Talk
Hmm.
about yours. Talk about your mentality when you step in the circle and how much of a competitive edge it gives you.
I definitely would say that I'm very competitive when it comes to pitching, not even just with the batters, but with myself. I like to be as perfect as I can possibly be. And it starts in practice. So at practice, I'm hard on myself. My coaches are hard on me. And, if I wasn't pushed like I am in practice, then I probably wouldn't go out there and succeed as much as I do on the field. But I just really try to be super competitive, go at hitters. And, I'm not afraid to throw everything at them. So I definitely think that being confident and being competitive is definitely where a lot of my success comes from.
You're one of the top ranked pitchers in the class of 24. When you see that, all the pitchers that are great in this class that
Hmm.
you're, named among one of the top 20, what does that do for your confidence?
It definitely helps my confidence, and I think it helps hold me accountable. When you have that, you know, top 20 next to your name, it can be a lot of pressure, but I really do use it as a form of like motivation and to keep me heading on the right direction. And so, I don't get caught up in that number. I keep it to where it keeps pushing me to work harder and to be even better than I was the year before. So,
Being in class of 24, obviously this is your last go around at
mhm.
McDonald. What's it been like to handle all the emotions that senior year can bring?
Oh, it's definitely bittersweet. I've only been at this school for 2 years, but I've built so many relationships with my teachers and my classmates and the community. So, as like the last month of school is kind of coming to an end, um, it's definitely a bittersweet thing. And I'm really excited for the next chapter of my life, but I'm also really sad that this one's closing. So,
When you think of next chapter, talk about it. What are some of the plans that you have after you graduate McDonald, and what are some of the goals you
mhm.
still have for yourself?
So I will be going to school down in Sarasota. I'm going to the New College of Florida. It's a small honors college, um, obviously down in Sarasota. And, I got the opportunity from the coach down there to come and play. It's always been a dream of mine to play down south, and I've always wanted to play in Florida. So when I got the opportunity, I just couldn't turn it down. Um, And, I plan to study psychology there. And, after I graduate, I really want to become a sports psychologist and kind of, give back to athletes and, help them, with their performance.
When you were doing the whole recruiting process, I'm sure you had a lot of schools interested. What
Mhm.
was it about this one that made it the decision? What made you fall in love with this school and this program?
Oh, definitely the coach. Just kind of everything that she was saying to me was everything that I wanted. She's really invested in the program. She's really, she really wants it to grow and be something, and she wants to be there for a long time. So when I heard that, that was something I was really excited about. Recruiting was definitely a crazy thing, and when this school came along, I just felt at home, and it felt like the right place for me, both athletically and academically. So,
When you made that decision and you took that weight off your shoulders, because I'm sure the recruiting process for you was hectic and maybe stressful. What was it
mhm.
like to finally make that decision and not to be, not have to worry about that anymore?
It definitely just kind of felt like the weight was off my shoulders. When you're especially a 2024 and you're uncommitted, it can be difficult because that's kind of all you're thinking about. So once you commit, it's kind of like you can just play the game of softball again, and you don't feel like you have to go out there and only be thinking about impressing college coaches. It's just kind of like you can play the game again like you did when you were a little kid.
All right. So before we end this interview, we like to do the rapid fire questions to get to know these players
Hmm.
off the field too. So my first question for you is, what's your favorite pitch to throw? The one that you love the most, that works the most, your quote unquote strikeout pitch.
Hmm.
What's the one you go to?
Um, Definitely for sure my curveball. I love that pitch. It's always been one of my favorites. But as of lately, um, in the last couple years, my changeup has gotten a lot better, and I love throwing that because you can do so much with it. And I know how I feel as a hitter when I have two strikes on me and I get a changeup, and I really enjoy throwing that now that I finally have one.
Said it with a little smirk too, like I got that in the back of my pocket. What was the hardest pitch to develop and learn when you were, starting to, grow yourself as a pitcher and you're developing all these pitches?
Probably my rise ball. I'd have to say I've been really working on that the last couple years. I've always been able to move the ball in and out, and that's always been my strong suit is spinning and moving the ball. I don't throw super super hard, but my spin, my movement has always been something that's carried me. But kind of developing a rise ball kind of took me over the top and kind of made me stand out even more. So the last 2 years, I've been really focusing on that and growing that pitch for sure.
You've been building a relationship with Coach Titus with McDonald. My
Hmm.
question for you is, out of all your teammates, you included, who do you
Hmm.
think could do the best impression of Coach Titus?
Mm, Probably her daughter because
Well,
they
that's
all look pretty similar. Also, her other daughter is one of our assistant coaches,
right.
so it's all kind of like they could probably do the best impression of her. I feel like when you meet Michelle, like on interviews and stuff,
Hmm.
she's a lot more like reserved and quiet, but she's a lot of fun and she's very loud and just outgoing. So it would definitely be her kids because they all kind of act very similar towards each other. So for sure.
They better be able to in person. They live with her. They better know enough for it. What are some of the things that you like to do for fun outside of softball? Those things that you do to avoid getting the burnout, get your mind off of the sport when you have to.
Mm. Definitely hanging out with my friends, but something that I kind of like to do by myself is read. I'm a big reader. I like reading books. A lot of people think that that's kind of like boring, but I enjoy it a lot. So,
What kind of books? What are your favorite like genre?
as of right now, am really liking thriller books.
Mhm.
So I enjoy those.
Are you one of the people that like when you read the book you can't compare it to the movie because the book's always going to be better than the movie,
Um,
or do you live in both worlds?
I kind of live in both worlds. If I read a book first and then I watch the movie, I definitely like it a lot more. But when I read And when I watch a movie and then read a book, I'm kind of like, I already know everything that's going to happen.
Right.
So I kind of get bored. But
So for you, that was the big question. Do you read the book first or the movie, or watch the movie first? If you had, the opportunity in front of you, you knew it was a book, you knew it was a movie,
Mhm.
you're going to the book first?
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
All right. So what's the best book you think you've ever read, the most favorite?
Um, let's see. I actually have a few that are over there. Probably Never Lie by Frida McFadden. That was like an awesome thriller book, and I read that a few months ago, and I really enjoyed it. So probably that one. But I've read a lot of books, so I can't really pick one.
The favorites are usually the ones that you choose on your own. What about the favorite book that you've read as a part of a school assignment, like one that you didn't choose, you didn't pick it out yourself, but it was assigned to you, but you ended up liking it quite a bit?
Hmm. Let me see. There was a book my sophomore year of high school. I don't remember exactly what it was called. Um, but it was about, I think his name was Elie Wiesel. I think it was something along like the Holocaust and whatnot. And I really enjoyed that book. It was informative, but it was also fun to like read and write about. So
Was it Night? Because that one just
I think so.
tore you
Yes.
apart for any of the Holocaust
Yes.
books were just
Yes. I
soul
think it was that
sucking.
one.
Let's talk about your dream car. Everyone has a dream car. If money wasn't an issue, what car would you want?
That's a funny question because I always like you said, everybody has a dream car, but I'm like a basic, like I just want like a Chevy Blazer, kind of just something that gets me to go from point A to point B. I don't really care what kind of car it is, but if I had to pick one, probably a Chevy Blazer in
So
black.
since the cars are kind of basic, let's dive into like what would you get frivolous about if you had a lot of money? What would be the thing that you would go and get something that's super expensive because you like it or whatever? Is it
Mhm.
the clothes? Is it shoes? Is it a house? What would be like the thing that you would buy to get frivolous with?
Probably a house. I have kind of expensive taste when it comes to houses, so I better be making a lot of money so that I can have the
And
house
with
that I want.
playing college in Florida, it might be a beachfront house, right?
Probably. Probably.
Isabella, before we let you go, we want to give you the chance to turn the spotlight off yourself and onto
Mhm.
your support system, the people that have been there for you. Want to give you the time that you want to thank the people in your life that
Mhm.
you couldn't do this journey without.
Definitely my mom and dad. They have not only raised me my whole life, but they've been my coaches my whole life as well. So I owe a lot of my success to them. They push me in a lot of different ways, both on the softball field, with school. I definitely accredit a lot of my success to them and just want to thank them for always pushing me to be my best self.
All right, Isabella, we want to thank you so much for taking the time to join us. We appreciate it. Wish you the best of luck the rest of this year, and we can't wait to talk again real, real soon.
Well, thank you so much.